Hello and welcome to Life Lessons with Barbara, and I'm your host, Barbara Aline Johnson, and I am also the owner of BEJ and Associates, a life coaching and business consulting company. And I want to give a quick shout out to Wdrb Media and WGIV for giving us this wonderful opportunity. And that mellow groove you're listening to is none other than the lead guitarist extraordinaire, Ms. Lois Lady Mac McMorris. And that's her signature tune, After the Rain. If you're interested in downloading your own or listening to some other cuts that she has created, go to the website, bej-associates.com, and click on After the Rain. This is the third segment of Life Lessons with Barbara, and we're just going to continue on from last Saturday with our quiz, Is Life Coaching for You? We're picking up where we left off at question number 4 out of a total of 20 questions. We won't get them all done today, but in another 2 weeks, we'll finish up that quiz for you. In the meantime, I encourage you to go back and check out the second show, where we talk about the foundation, we talk about the basics of life coaching, and so that you'll have a clearer understanding of what it is we're talking about. Anyway, here we go. Stay tuned. Question number 5 coming up.
Do you have goals that you want to achieve, but you just haven't been able to yet? So you might want to, if that's the case for you, you might want to participate in life coaching sessions to explore the reasons for that. And there are most of the time, how you benefit from life coaching is, and it encourages you to rethink certain things that you've already accepted or that you've already decided. Or, some things that you've never explored for yourself before. Beliefs, values, things that you bought into before ever examining it for yourself. And so life coaching gives you a chance to rethink some of those things. So sometimes when we feel this little flicker, this little flame, or this little gnawing that says, "Oh, I'd like to do that. Oh, that would be fun. I bet that would be fun." But then then right away you shut yourself down and you've labeled this thing, "Oh, that's frivolous," or "That's, there's no way I can do that. I'm not this enough, or I'm not that enough," and you start to to shut it down, and that's something that can be changed just by re-examining it. And that's the way life is. You can't go through life contemplating every single thing. You're on automatic pilot about a lot of stuff. And some of those things that you just assume or that you've just accepted as your truth may not necessarily be your truth. And they could be blocking you from, really having an exciting kind of life. One where you wake up and you're just ready to go, and you have so much to look forward to, so much to anticipate. Let me see, where am I now? Let me see how I'm doing the time. Okay. So, does this resonate for you? Do you feel you have no dreams, no goals, nothing to aspire to? you're not even sure that there is a purpose for your life at all. And to feel that way puts you kind of borderline depressed, which becomes a clinical thing. But if it's just a flat out apathy, you're functioning all right. There's some little joys along the way in your life that keep you from, dropping into that level of depression. But it's not enough to give you a lot of motivation or a lot of desire to do or be something different. I call it like flatlining, but not dead, but just kind of, I'm here, I'm existing, I get the wind blows me this way, I go there. The wind blows me that way, I go there. Not taking charge of your life. Is that what's happening? Maybe. Do you feel, or do you wish you could figure out what you're supposed to do when you grow up? Maybe you're the kind of person who prides yourself on being, spontaneous, going with the flow. I can relate to that because that's what I would do. And that wind blowing you this way and wind blowing you that way that I just described, that was me. I had no sense of direction. And in the real sense of I don't for real. But in terms of managing and directing my own life, that was something I didn't learn to do for years. So if that's where you are and you're always ending up somewhere else or somewhere you don't want to be, then you may need to kind of you may need to kind of impose some self-discipline. And, like a grown-up, and do the kind of soul searching, just stop being, so focused on what's outside of you and do some inward stuff, then you'll develop that sense of direction. And life coaches can help you do that. So if you don't know what you want to be when you grow up and you're already 50, it's better late than never. So give yourself this chance to be who you were meant to be. Okay, number 8. Do you feel your life lacks direction or passion or joy? And that's something only you can decide for yourself. Do you feel you have direction? Do you feel like you're headed in the right direction? Do you feel like you're building a dream, making progress towards it? What about the passion? Do you feel excited about certain aspects of your life? Or is it mostly dread? Or is it mostly boredom? Or are you so much into control that you really, really limit what enters your life? Very, very super self-protective. Is that where you are? Another thing is not having much joy in your life. And I know I use that word a lot, but joy is something that comes from the very simple, free, and easy things that are all around you all the time. To step outside and see the trees and the birds and feel the breeze and And I mean, that could give you a kind of high if you tune into it. If those kinds of things, if you look for the things that could bring a smile to your face or to make you feel, I'm a part of this thing and this feels good. Do you have that kind of joy? An appreciation for the simple things in life? Okay, let me move on because I'm running out of time as usual. Okay, what about, do you believe your life is chaotic and out of balance? Sometimes, it's interesting, but sometimes we manufacture chaos just so that we can be stimulated and feel alive. We can manufacture it in a lot of ways. People who hoard, they're just surrounded by stuff. People who hoard people, they're in the midst all the time, looking to be energized, to be stimulated. So I think it's about a focus of control or a focus, period. Are you focusing on what's outside of you? Are you focusing on what's inside? Are you doing too much of one or the other? So there is balance to strive for. And balance, if that's your goal, will keep you on an even keel. You'll have your highs and you'll have your lows and you'll have your steady as she goes, as steady as he goes. And that's a life skill and a necessity. There needs to be balance, and there needs to be a shutting down. So a life of chaos, for your whole waking moments is it's going to burn you out, cause you maybe physical problems or stress-related problems in the long run. But there's better ways to be stimulated. You can read a good book and have quiet and peace. You can take your dog for a walk in the park or something. So balance. So if your life is out of balance, then you want to look at that. Do you have dreams you've convinced yourself you cannot realize? So that's kind of like the first one. So you're still entertaining the dream, but you're keeping it in the fantasy category as opposed to actually developing a plan for making that dream a reality. So that's the difference between that question and the first one. First one is saying, I gave up on it. I don't even think about it anymore. This one is saying, I fantasize about it all the time, but that's all I do. I'm not making any progress towards it.
Well, on that note, this concludes today's Life Lessons with Barbara. And please tune in again next Saturday at 9 a.m. We will continue with this series of questions for you to think about, is life coaching for you? And also, I want to remind you that on the website, bej-associates.com, you can download the fabulous Lady Max After the Rain or other tunes that she has created. And you can also get all the information you need about the amazing and historic event that's coming up in May 20th through the 22nd in Winston-Salem, the celebration of Dr. Joe L. Dudley Sr.'s 80th birthday. You wouldn't want to miss it. With a life lesson for today, it's more a life question. If you're not living the kind of life you've dreamed about, then why not? And are you ready to do something about that? Namaste.